Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're really diving into the world of Brazilian wine.
Yeah, specifically looking at a grape you might not have heard much about yet.
Exactly. It's called BRS Violeta. It's a red grape developed by Embrapa, which is Brazil's big agricultural research corporation. We got good material, the official info, plus a sommelier take. And our mission, really, is to give you the key stuff about this grape.
Sort of the essential breakdown.
Yeah, its backstory, what makes it tick, how it's grown, what kind of wine it makes, and, why it actually matters for Brazilian wine. Think of it as your shortcut.
It's definitely more than just another grape variety. It says a lot about Brazilian innovation.
It really does. Innovation, adaptation to local conditions, making quality reds in, well, unexpected places sometimes. Okay, so let's get into it. Where did BRS Violeta actually come from?
Well, it all kicked off with Embrapa's grape breeding program. A pretty ambitious one, actually.
Ambitious how?
Their main aim was to create new grape varieties that were specifically built for Brazil's tropical and subtropical climates, humid ones.
Right, not typically easy places for traditional European vines.
Exactly. These areas were often seen as marginal. So the goal wasn't just survival, it was about quality wines and making viticulture sustainable and, economically sound long-term in those regions.
Smart. Focusing on grapes that could actually thrive there and make good wine.
Precisely.
And the key to that, I assume, lies in the genetics, that specific cross.
Absolutely. BRS Violeta didn't just happen. It's the result of a very deliberate strategic cross.
Okay. Between which grapes?
Between BRS Lorena and another one called CNPUV 149456.
Right.
And the strategy was to blend the kind of wine quality you get from Vitis vinifera, the classic European wine grapes.
The ones known for complex flavors.
Yes, those. Blend that quality with the sheer toughness of other Vitis species, things like Vitis labrusca and Vitis estivalis.
Ah, the American species, known for being hardier.
Exactly. They're not usually top choices for fine wine on their own, but they are incredibly resistant to diseases, especially fungal diseases, which are a huge headache in hot, humid summers.
Which Brazil have plenty of.
You got it. So this cross was really engineered for the specific conditions in the south and southeast of Brazil. It's about leveraging that disease resistance to create a solid red grape. A smart move.
That makes a lot of sense. Mixing and matching DNA for the best results. Let's break down those parents a bit. BRS Lorena, what did that bring to the party?
Okay, so BRS Lorena was already out there, released back in 2001. Its big plus was, again, excellent fungal disease resistance.
Okay, so resistance was key.
Definitely. But it also had this nice, delicate, aromatic side, fruity, floral notes. It's mostly used for fresh white wines and some really vibrant sparkling wines.
So the idea was pass on that resistance, maybe some of those nice aromatics.
Exactly. Transfer those valuable traits into the new red hybrid.
The other parent. CNPUV 149456. That's quite the name. What was its role?
Yeah, not catchy. But Embrapa picked it specifically because it showed potential for boosting color intensity in red wines.
Ah, getting that deep red color.
Right. And also for improving tannin structure. Tannins are, well, they give red wine that grip, that texture.
And they help it age, right?
Precisely. They're crucial for complexity and letting a wine develop over time. So CNPUV 149456 was brought in for color and structure.
Got it. So the big picture strategy combined the refined wine qualities of vinifera with the survival skills of the other Vitis types.
You nailed it. Creating something that could really perform well in climates that traditional varieties just find too tough.
Makes perfect sense.
Okay.
So all this careful breeding.
Yeah.
When did it actually pay off? When did BRS Violeta get released?
The official launch was in 2012.
Okay, so about a decade ago now.
Yeah, and that was a pretty big deal for Brazilian wine. It added a really useful, nationally developed red grape to their options.
And how was it received? Did growers pick it up?
It's been a gradual adoption, but yes. It started spreading across different wine regions in Brazil, from the traditional south up into the northeast even.
Interesting. That spread suggests it works in different places.
It does. It shows that producers were seeing the benefits, both in the vineyard, the agronomic side, and in the winery, the enological potential.
So the clever genetics paid off in practice.
Seems so.
Now, Embrapa didn't just, throw the grape out there and walk away, did they? Did they support the growers?
Oh, definitely not. They've been very active with what's called technology transfer, basically getting the know-how out there.
How does that work?
Through things like rural extension programs, experts working directly with farmers, they publish technical guides, research papers, hold workshops, events.
So really educating people on how to grow it properly.
Exactly. Proper vineyard management, but also understanding its potential in the winery. how to actually make the best wine from it.
Right, it's a whole system, the grape plus the knowledge. Okay, so let's fast forward to now. What are the main things you should really know about BRS Violeta today?
I think the key takeaway, really, is that BRS Violeta is this great example of Brazilian research finding solutions for its specific agricultural challenges.
A local solution for local conditions.
Exactly. It gives winemakers a solid, quality option for red wine, especially in those trickier tropical and subtropical climates. And a big part of that is the disease resistance.
Right, you mentioned that. Less need for pesticides.
Significantly less, yeah, which is a huge plus for sustainable viticulture. That's increasingly important for everyone, growers and consumers.
Absolutely. Okay, sustainability is a big tick.
Yeah.
What about the wine itself? If you pour a glass of BRS Violeta, what are you getting?
Well, the wines definitely have their own character. They often have this really vibrant color, sometimes almost violet, hence the name Violeta.
Makes sense.
On the nose, you usually get nice fruit aromas, red berries, maybe some darker berries too. And often there's a subtle, spicy note alongside the fruit.
Fruity and a bit spicy. Sounds appealing. What about the taste?
They tend to have good, balanced acidity that keeps them fresh and makes them pretty versatile with food.
Versatile how? Young wines, ageable wines.
Both, potentially. You can definitely make young, fruity, easy drinking styles, very approachable, but there's also potential there for more structured wines that could age for a bit.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So flexibility.
Yeah, and we're seeing it used in blends too, adding its own unique thing to the mix. And importantly, it seems to pair really well with Brazilian food.
A homegrown grape for homegrown cuisine. Nice touch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so to sum it up, a resilient, sustainable grape making distinctive, versatile wines with the Brazilian identity.
That's a pretty good summary, yeah. A testament to that focused research effort.
Great. So as we wrap up this deep dive on BRS Violeta, what's a final thought for our listeners to chew on?
Well, thinking about how adaptable BRS Violeta seems to be, growing across these different Brazilian regions or terroirs, and its potential for different wine styles,
Is it?
it makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Wonder what?
What other unique facets, what new characteristics might pop up as more people plant it and as winemakers keep experimenting? What new regional signatures, what distinct styles of Brazilian red wine are we going to discover down the line, all thanks to this one grape?